Hey guys, welcome to day 20 of our Disney Nail Art Challenge. Today we are going to do Zero, who is Jack's trusty hound. He's a nice easy one that doesn't take a whole lot of time to do, so he might be a nice one to add in if you're doing a full set of Jack and Sally nails. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. There is a button right underneath the screen where you can do that, and if you like the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget, if we can get to 500 subscribers before the end of the 30 days, I'm going to extend it out by another 5 days, so that'll be 5 more characters, 5 days in a row. And without further ado, let's do Zero. So you were going to start off with our white paint. And we're going to start on the very tip of his nose. Now he's really curvy, so you don't want any really sharp pointy lines during him. And we're going to do a little curve down, and then we're going to curve back up and give him a nice round head. And then from underneath his nose, we're going to drag it right down into a nice big happy smile, right the way into the edge of his head. Then you can join them together. And then we're going to give him another little curved line from the outside here, right into the very edge of the curve for his lower mouth. And we can fill that area in with our paint. Then we can give him his nice big curvy flowy ears. So we want to drag right up and curve around and back up again. He's got really big ears. And then follow that line again, a little bit lower, and join the ends together. And you can fill that one in. And then we're going to give him a second ear. So we're going to go further into his head, a little bit higher, and we're going to curve right up and around. And then another little swoosh, and that'll be the end of that ear. And then we're going to go dip down into the first ear to create our second swoosh. And you're going to fill that in. Then we can move on to his curvy flowy back. We're going to drag down from his head and a little bit of an angle, and we're going to give him a small bump and a little diagonal down. Then we can give him a bigger bump, and then aiming for the edge of the nail, we're going to give him 2 smaller ones, and we're going to disappear off the side of the nail. And then the front of his body, we can give him a big curve around. And we can start off with giving him one little swirly foot at the front. And then you're going to wrap that around into a little bump underneath. And then a smaller bump disappearing off the side of the nail. And we can fill that in. Then we need to give him his other little foot that's also going to swirl out from his body in a little curve and then tuck in. Then we can add our second layer of white to the whole area. Now we need to mix up the colour for Zero's nose. So we're going to take a little bit of red, pop it in our palette, and a little bit of yellow so that we can make a nice orange for his nose. You want to give it a good mix together then, and then test it. Now that's not quite orange enough for me, so I'm going to add a little bit more yellow to my mix and give it a good mix up. Then I'm going to paint a little round circle on the top of his nose. You can use a dotting tool for this if you find it easier. Sticking right off the top of his nose. And I can still see through him in a few little places, so I'm just going to touch him up with a little bit more white in the odd place. Then we're going to take our black and we're going to start our outline. So we're going to outline by circling his little nose. And then we're going to outline the top of his head and his two ears. Then we can outline from the tip of his nose right down inside his mouth, and we're going to give him a nice smiley curve at the end of his mouth on the inside. And then we're going to outline his bottom lip, and we're going to curve the bottom of the outline right the way around to touch off his ear. Nice big round shape. Then we can take a dotting tool with a little bit of our black paint, and we're going to give him his nice big round eye. We're going to take a little bit of red paint for his collar. And then just at the back of his head, we're going to paint a little red triangle, just to show off his collar a little bit. Then we can go back to our black paint and continue our outline. So we're going to paint down his first leg. So we're going to curve around the front and we're going to wrap down and around his little foot. And just to show a fold in the fabric, we're going to do a little triangle down at the edge of the foot. And then we're going to outline the rest of his body and his other little leg, literally just following the lines that you've painted already. And then we're going to mix up a little bit of light grey, just do a bit of shading. So I've picked up a small smidge of black and I've popped it into a bit of white that's on my tray. I want it to be a super pale grey. And we're going to start to add in some shadow lines. So I'm going to follow along his top lip. Now we're overlapping the white here, we're not overlapping the black, just the white. And I'm going to give him a little bit in both ears. A little bit more in the second ear. And a little bit under his mouth. Then I'm going to give him a little bit in his second leg, so the one that's behind. And then I'm going to follow the black outline on his first leg. I'm going to give him a little squiggly line. You can see I'm just adding in 3 along his body, and then I'm going to follow the outline of his back and his belly. I'm going to take a little bit of black and I'm going to give him 3 little fold lines from his neck area down. 1, 2, 3. And then let him dry and finish him off with top coat. He is one of my favourite characters from this whole series. I love him. Look how cute he is. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today for Zero. He is quick and easy and I hope you enjoy him. If you haven't already subscribed, there is a subscribe button on the screen right now, somewhere. If you could hit it for me, that would be amazing. And if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for me. Tomorrow we will be back with Oogie Boogie. You would have seen a few little clips of him today. If you would like to see the step-by-step pictures of Zero, they are going to be in the Facebook group in the next 10 minutes. Make sure you pop in there. The link is in the description below. Thanks so much for joining me and I'll see you all tomorrow.